Yo, what you man saying? What's good? Minasan konnichiwa. Last video I was talking about how I went through a study drought, and it's still going on. I'm not gonna lie, but this whole watching stuff in the meantime in Japanese and just trying to absorb everything using media like Netflix and shows and whatever has actually been paying a lot more dividends than I thought it was. And in the midst of all of this, it's kind of made me change my views a bit on how I should approach language learning. In terms of the concrete results I have from just shutting up and just listening and watching Japanese people speak, particularly using the Netflix extension, learning language with Netflix and a bit of YouTube as well, my comprehension again has just shot up. Anyone that learns languages, would know the whole stopping a video, rewinding and trying to catch a soundbite. That process or that friction that you have has gone down. I mean, it's always there and it's always going to be there, but that process of stopping, starting and rewinding has just gone down a lot more. I feel confident that even though haven't been particularly following the textbook in I don't even know how many months now, my comprehension has gone up, and that for me is like a yes kind of thing for me, innit? Now I finished watching quite a few shows on Netflix, and I tried to step up a bit and watch one show called Hibana. I think it's Hibana, I can't remember. It's like some comedians from Japan, and I was ready for it, and then after I realized there was too much like cultural nuanced stuff to like keep up with, and I was like, raw, like, I closed that tab quickly. I was like, I'm not ready for this stuff, bro. I got humbled nicely, yeah. So I started watching some like animes for younger people. I can't remember, there was like one show with these two Japanese girls. Well, they're not even Japanese actually, they live in Mars, yeah, and they want to become like idols or like singing idols or whatever, and they're against some AI machine backed girl, but it was a rubbish show, innit? But the whole point is that I learned a lot of Japanese as well from just listening, just watching that show. And after that I was watching some dating show about some people that had like their own little secrets, and they had to reveal it as the show went on, and that was, not only was that good for my Japanese skill because it was actual real life conversation between two people and not just some anime, but it was also entertaining because you see these secrets come out, like one person's a porn star, like one person has debt, and the other person, like some girl had 3 kids, yeah, and was divorced. Is that like a bad secret? I don't know, innit? Yeah, actually no, it's not. Like categorically, I don't get cancelled, you know what I mean, saying it is a secret, get me, bro. Anyways, yeah, in addition to that, I've been doing language changes with my friend from Tokyo, and I started to do a new format where I would speak English to him and he would speak Japanese to me, and I initially thought it might be a bit weird, yeah, but it's actually fine. It's actually quite fine, and there's been a few times where I spontaneously just jump back into Japanese. The benefit of that was I was able to have conversations with him about a range of topics and not necessarily worry about getting stuck on certain words and having to like stop the conversation. It was relatively more free flowing. So recently we just spoke about the vaccine rollout in the UK compared to the vaccine rollout in Japan, and I understood everything they said to me, even when it did like come across as relatively complex. But again, like the whole point is that I was trying to practice my comprehension. There's a few times where, like I said, I was spontaneously teach Japanese, like, oh, naruhodo, ne. When I was watching that Japanese dating show and seeing the participants, reveal their secrets as time went on, towards the end of the show, I was more so intrigued by these cultural differences and understanding the dynamics as opposed to actually speaking the language. And it made me realize that process there is more goodness in that than there is actually speaking the language. If you grow up in Western countries, particularly like London or like a big city like New York or something like that, it's naturally multicultural, and so you have all these groups of people living together, and I realised that there is a sense of tolerance obviously in amongst everyone, but tolerance doesn't necessarily foster curiosity for the other people. I mean, there is a difference between just like going out and getting a Chinese or getting an Indian takeaway or even wearing like a dashiki, yeah, and you're not from that particular country. But there's one thing doing that, yeah, and actually asking people from that country, like, oh, where are you from in that particular country, or learning something about them. Like there are certain guys I went to school with, yeah, that I didn't actually ask him about their country of origin or like any questions related to it. Like I know, like for example, I know a lot of people from the Balkans, like Serbia, Bosnia, Kosovo, and it's only when I'm nearly 30 now, yeah, that I've actually asked them questions about the war, for example. Again, it's tolerance, but not necessarily curiosity, and I realized that again is learning about other people and learning about other people through languages and whatever. which is what a lot of people come to do. A lot of international students, they come to the UK, they learn about us, they speak to us, and they make friends with us. They learn about the corporate environment, social environment, the political discourse that's happening in the UK. But that's not, it's not two-way street. We don't learn from them, you know what I mean? And that's what I realized just with this whole language learning thing, when I was just learning and watching Japanese shows, is that there is goodness in just learning about other people. And you know, through languages, there's a lot more to it. It just soups up, like nitro boosts it, you know what I mean? And then in doing so, yeah, I kind of realized that, you know, speaking might just be the cherry on top, but understanding is like that's the real meat of the learning. That's where the real goodness comes from. And so I'm not trying to say speaking is overrated. You know, I love the linguistic challenge of just trying to go out and speak Japanese and learn Japanese, but you know, for me now, like the exciting bit of it is those nuggets of cultural exchange, or like cultural learning from them through language, and just being able to understand what's happening. But you know, speaking specifically about Japanese and the Japanese journey, the study slump is coming to an end. That's it, 100%. I've succumbed to the Anki app, and I've snipped a lot of files from Tobira and Genki too. I've snipped out like a lot of the audios, and I've snipped out a lot of like the like transcripts, and I've put them all into decks, and so I'm just gonna just focus on that, as well as watching a lot of Japanese stuff. For the last week I've been watching anything Japanese. You know, it's been a bit hectic at work and whatnot, yeah, but yeah, I'm gonna be focused on this like big time. So new videos soon, hopefully. So yeah, ありがとうございました。